We are rolling.
Okay. Okay, so right now we're gonna do something very exciting. I'm gonna show you how to make Char Siu, which is Chinese BBQ pork. Okay, so before the time of like traditional Cantonese restaurant, so people try to make it the best way they can, but obviously they cannot really make it the way they make it like in Hong Kong or anything like that. But I'm gonna show you how to make it, and it still tastes very good. Okay, so here's the pork, right? So this, I have different kinds of pork. So pork loin here, pork loin, some pork belly, and then I guess that's all I have. I only have two kinds of meat. But anyway, so I'm gonna start with this to do my meat, and then here are the ingredients. Okay, salt, brown sugar. This is like a brown rock sugar. Black pepper, and then this is a Chinese spice. Okay. And then also, oops, see, here's the blooper.
Actually, would you mind showing me that 5 spice one more time?
Okay. So, Chinese.
Could you bring it
spice.
down and kind of into the middle? There we go.
Chinese spice.
Cool.
Yeah. And then we're gonna use something like this. Okay. This is called the fermented bean curd. The red bean fermented bean curd. Okay. We're gonna use this one, and then we're gonna use this. So this, let's go to Asian market. Maltose. This is just malt sugar. This is very sticky. Okay. Sticky for a purpose. And then because this like literally it will stick to the meat. Okay. But this is very thick, very sticky, and it's not actually very sweet either. But it just really gives a good texture if you use this. But it's not very sweet, but it has its own unique flavor. A lot of recipe, according to my reading, they don't really use this one, because this is kind of hard to work with. It's very sticky. Most people just use like regular sugar, or they use honey. A lot of people use honey. Okay, but I think this one caramelizes better. It just caramelizes at a higher temperature, and I just think it just gives so much better texture. And then also you have this wholesome sauce. You can just get this from any store. But just with all of this, just to add more flavor, I also bought like one of those Char Siu sauce. You can use this. You don't need to use this. You can just use this. But I'm just gonna use this also with this, just so it gives more flavor. I like my barbecue pork like kind of like strong flavor. But if you don't want it so strong and whatever, you don't have to use. Oh, this is just all for reference, right? But you can just get one of these from the store. Now this thing basically have all the ingredient here, but they just kind of like, it's like a processed sauce, but still just as good. Okay, and then all we have to do is just marinate all this with this. Okay, very simple. But first, we are gonna take this out and mix it. And then yeah, you don't need that much. You just have enough to cover the meat, just to coat it. And that's then this one is the hard one. So this one you actually have to dissolve it, because this is very sticky. I'll show you right now. It's very sticky, very sticky. See, look at that. Super sticky, like this. Okay. Or whatever, you do the best you can. Get however much you want. And then put in the bowl. Yes, it's so sticky. Look at this. Very sticky. Okay. There's probably a better way to do this, but whatever. Yeah. So this is a little bit harder to work with. That's why people normally don't use this. They don't want to like deal with this. But this really makes a difference, man. Like if you want it to taste like a restaurant, you gotta use this. Okay, so this is sugar, and then I have hot boiled water I prepared earlier. And you just like mix it with. You have to mix this with this, and then it will dissolve somewhat. Okay. Like I say, this is not very sweet at all, but the point is you want the stickiness. You really want the stickiness because you really want a good coat of like sticky sugar on the pork. Okay, and I will show you. So anyway, we'll let this sit for there for now. Okay, so for this one, just start mixing. There isn't any like a set amount. It's really just up to your personal preference. Because it's sweet, right? Like if it's anything sweet, like it's kind of like, oh, I don't want it so sweet, so I'll just put this. And then if you want it very sweet, just put like more sugar. Okay. I have my binker, and then I have my spice powder. This one, make sure you don't put too much. This is a little bit sweet too, but then this will also get better if you put too much. And then the brown sugar. This one, just guess personal preference, however much you want to use. And, a little bit of pepper. Okay, not too much. Salt. Okay. And then also sauce. And you just mix it. Kind of just like all over. You just want to make a coat. It's just a coating. Okay, so that's everything. Now we just put in this. It's just to reinforce more flavor. Here you go. Okay, so all this is just like for reference. Like if you want it sweet, put more. Don't want it so sweet, just can put so much. And there you go. Fantastic. Now rub it in. Okay. So typically you go to a place and you buy barbecue pork, and then it's gonna be like red, and that's because they put food color in there, so it looks red. And then the sauce I bought, like the one that's already made for you, this one has a little bit of food color in it, and not so much. But then if you just use actual ingredient, it doesn't have any food coloring. So like the actual like char siu, it doesn't look red. I mean, like if it looks red, and you know they added food coloring to make it look red. Okay, so there you go. So there you go. So it looks like this. Nothing fancy. But all the goodie that we point there is right there. Okay, so there you go. There you go. Okay, and you cannot smell it, but it smells great. Okay, and now the sugar is somewhat ready. Okay, so we just put this one there. Yeah, see, a little bit softer, Alright. Still very sticky, but it's okay. There you go. Mix it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Like this. Fantastic. Okay, so now we just let it marinate. according to my reading, it's like some places they marinate like obviously like back in the day when we weren't able to make it like authentic like style barbecue pork, but they basically marinate for like overnight, but then they also like air dry it after they bake it, whatever. But we're not gonna do that. Okay, so the thing is that back in the day when before those like really like authentic Chinese restaurant that came to the U.S., like people try to make Chinese food in the restaurant, and then but they want to use like different kinds of meat, obviously, beef, chicken, but they also want to use pork. Pork actually is like cheaper than beef, so most restaurant they will use chicken first, and then if they want some other alternative, they use pork. So and then Char Siu is like basically like a sweet barbecue pork, and it's very popular. If you make it, like people want to buy it because it tastes great. It's sweet, and it's like barbecue. Like who doesn't like barbecue? So they will make Char Siu at like Chinese restaurant. So our Chinese restaurant typically will sell barbecue pork, and then it goes like this. The process. It's just a marination with the right stuff, and then it'll taste great. So we're gonna let it sit, marinate, just like this. Okay, you can cut.
Cutting.
The light is good, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
So
check.
we're rolling. We're gonna get just kind of an insert shot of some of this. So there's hoisin. Okay.
Okay, so this meat has been marinated for an hour, 2 hours. And then now ready to put it in the oven. Oven is set at 325, you don't want it too high. Okay, so just like this. Make sure you get a frame so you can cook underneath too. So obviously this one will be finished first. Okay, and we're ready. Bake. The marinade saved this, so this is gonna be the glaze. So when we're baking this, we're gonna use this to glaze it. Okay, so don't throw this in there. And here we go.
Cutting. And we are rolling.
So this is a sauce left from the marinade. Don't throw it away. So this is for the glaze. Okay, so we're gonna use this to glaze the pork. So this is what it looks like. This is about like an hour. Looks like this. Like these couple pieces is ready to go. These pieces probably not ready yet. Oh, actually they are. They just, but this one is more cooked than this one, obviously. So we're just gonna glaze it. Now, we're done with this. Just gonna boil it a little bit. Gonna up the temperature. 400 max. And we'll just do it for like maybe 5 minutes until it has a nice candy crust on the outside. Take it out, rest a little bit, and then good to go.
Brilliant.
Alright, there you go. Now it looks like the real thing. Pretty much done. They're not gonna be the same as make it at a restaurant, but pretty good. This is the pork belly, it looks like this. It's a pork belly. Very tender, falling apart. You can cut.
Yeah.
Try this piece. Now I'll use that part. This piece is very dry.
Because it's a small piece.
Oh, definitely tastes different. It tastes the tofu.